Hello guys, this is Milana Mill, and this is probably the first time you hear my voice. Yay! Excuse my voice, I'm having a little bit of a flu here. I'm actually doing my friend's character right now. She's been helping me out a lot, like a lot when it comes to, my character designs, especially outfits and other stuff like that. We have really similar taste when it comes to the kind of medieval, like fantasy kind of setting. So she's been a big help for me, especially when it comes to those things. And I try to comment a little bit on the drawing itself, and otherwise I'm just gonna ramble. So this so right now I'm doing a sketch that I will start to paint over. Basically, I just take a new layer as you can see, and I put the base color under it, and then I start to color on the top of the sketch, and at one point I just merge them down. So I just paint, put color color after color, a little bit shadow there, a little bit highlight there, and I kind of start to mold the shape of the head. And it's really nice when you just start to paint over the sketch, because you can follow it, but it doesn't really distract you. Yes. This is what flu does me, like I cannot speak anymore. But yeah, so at first I just put a basic shadows, like a really pale ones that you cannot really notice, and then I start to add a little bit more and more radical shadow. And the nose used to be, and the lips used to be a really hard part for me, but after I started to do these kind of paintings, they just seemed a lot more easier, and I'm actually really grateful that I found this technique. I just decided to try it out, because I was like, I need to do some practices, and I actually wanted to try this black and white practice, because I have problems with colors and values, and I really felt like I needed to practice those. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna do a black and white, and then I was and then I was hooked, basically. And so here I'm doing a little bit of the lips. Actually, I forgot to record one part. It was basically me just adding the shines to the lips, so you don't really miss much, but there's gonna be a small jump there at some point. But yeah, I'm really happy, because at first I was like, well, I'm just gonna paint over it, like because I was like, I'm being too lazy. I'm just gonna paint over the sketch, and I actually realized that it works really well, because I always kinda hated that when I had the sketch with me, I would lower the opacity and paint below it, but then when I would hide the sketch, the painting would look real weird. It's like, it doesn't look good at all. And and it didn't really matter like how low I put the opacity, it would still affect the work itself. So when you start to paint over the sketch itself, it actually doesn't affect the ending results, because well, you paint over it. In this part, I'm doing the accessories, as you can see. It was a little bit like, it was fun to do, but it was a little bit of a challenge for me, because even though I love doing shiny objects, like they're probably my favorite thing to do ever, but it was kind of hard to make it seem somehow natural. But I really enjoyed it, and I think that she has really good attention when it comes to detail. It's not exactly as in the reference, but I think it's close enough. In this point, I think I started to render the drawing a bit more. Like normally when I do the painting, or like when I do these practices, because I've done like 2 of these before, and I've done like in 3 days. So these are actually kind of fast. They only take like 2 hours. This one took a little bit longer because, you know, it's a gift for a friend, so I wanted to spend more time on it, you know. So I rendered the face. If you don't know what it means, it's just basically that it's basically just, you know, making things smoother and not as rough. The hair was a bit of a challenge because it was kind of dark, so, you know, it's kind of hard to see at this point, but it was kind of hard for me too, because I wanted to make it as natural as possible and not look like too sloppy. I don't know how well it turned out, but I really love like curly hair. I really love it, even though my own characters don't have a curly hair, but I really love curly hair. It's so fun to do, and it's just so fluffy and pretty. I wish my own hair was curlier. My hair is kind of wavy, so it's actually really much a pain because it's not straight nor is it curly, it's in between. And sometimes it's either one. So here I'm actually rendering the headband that she's wearing, as you can see, you know, putting more detail, making it a little bit decent looking, not just blocks of colors there. Adding and adding a little bit shadow and other things like that. So now I'm starting to add the color, which is basically I just put an overlay over it and, you know, add colors. That's what the fun about these paintings is, that you can practice values and then you can see how it looks like when you color them. Though normally I just do color because there is limitations. Like when you do black and white painting and you put colors over it, there is gonna be some sort of limitations to what you can do with the colors. But if it's a practice and you want to learn, then I don't think there's a better way to learn than doing a black and white, because you learn values and you learn, you know, saturation of the colors. So I really just suggest that people do that. And it's actually almost ready, so I'm just adding a final detail, like trying out what kind of background, what color background I want it to have, and yeah, my signature. And now it's ready. It really didn't take anything else. And here's the colored version. I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe and be back next time. Bye bye.